Hello, good evening, and welcome to Joy News Prime, live from our studio here in Accra, live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125, around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming up, communities affected by spillage of the Akosombo Dam plead with the Volta River Authority to reduce the volume of water being spilled as the exercise destroys homes, washes away a tourist island, and floods schools.
The time that I was born in this town, every year, the water will come, but it also affects us, enter our rooms, our chicken.
And Accra High Court grants an application to bring forward a hearing of the motion for confirmation of the seizure and freezing of the bank account of former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Armah Tetteh because she is going through extreme hardship. Also on this story, fresh trouble for Cecilia Armah Tetteh's FBI joins Office of Special Prosecutor to investigate financial transactions tied to her within the U.S. Now, also in this bulletin, senior high school head teachers are worried that schools have become grounds for occultism and hooliganism.
Bullying, occultism, smoking, drug abuse, to mention a few, have their roots, we have detected, in the homes and communities of the culprits.
Now, houses have been heavily submerged and farms completely overtaken by flood waters. That is the story of the people of Tong and Anlo district of the Volta region. There is no comfort for them as they have been hugely affected by the spillage of the excess water from the Akosombo Dam. One of such communities is the Agok in the Anlo constituency, where life has come to a standstill due to the floods. For so many members of this community, they have grown tired of having to deal with the devastation every year. My colleague Ketu was in this community and our reports.
For weeks, school children in Agok have been home after flooding cut their school off from the rest of their community. The spillage of the Volta Dam and torrential rains have combined to threaten their dreams. The livelihoods of that of their families have also been put on hold as they wait for the flood waters to recede. It's been a month since many of these houses in this community flooded, and residents have to adjust to live with it as their rooms are drenched and filled with flood waters.
Since about 96 that way. It's a seasonal thing, but coming every seasons. And from June that way it's come. When it's come like this, our schools have been closed. People have not have chance to go to school because it crossed the school road side, so that people cannot move to the school. So we close the school down, and our jobs have been lost, like farm activities. We can't go to farm again, so we just there here and be suffering from food and those aspects. Some houses, the people get in the inside their rooms, so they have to take blocks and put before make bed and sleep on it. Those are the problems that are facing us. As we just stay to manage. When it goes, then we start our jobs activities. Yes. When it comes, it take about 3 months or 4 months.
So for about 3 or 4 months, you'll be living with water?
Yes.
We have become miserable. We can't even sleep over fears our houses may collapse. We just stay up all night.
For many of these residents, this annual occurrence frustrates them. For many, they've been seeing this ever since they were born.
The time that I was born in this town, every year, the water will come. But it also affects us, enter our rooms, our chicken. If they come like this, can't even cook. If you want to cook, you have to buy charcoal before. But if you have a cylinder, so you used to cook.
It's been 1 month since our houses were taken over by the floods. We need help. We are suffering and we are looking up to God.
Their call for help seemed to have all fallen on deaf ears. No NADMO in sight to offer relief items. No efforts by the government, they say, to end the perennial flooding once and for all. MP for the area, Richard Kwame Sefe, who donated some items on behalf of the former president, John Dramani Mahama, to the community, urged government to come to their aid.
The VRS spillage, the control spillage, which is being done now, the flash waters, as well as the other SSs that are coming into play. For now, we are at a loss as to where to call on, because try as we couldn't achieve anything.
Now let's take you to Mepe, where Joshua Tigo of our sister station at Dome is standing by with some update. Josh, grateful for joining. What's the current situation?
Thank you, Kojo. I'm sad to say that the situation remains that of distress for the people. A few minutes ago, I had the opportunity of talking to NADMO officials who came to town together with the MP for the area, Blakwa Okujetu. The DC, Osmond Twenu, was also around. They gave me the indication that some relief items are on their way. They are not here yet, so I have not cited any yet, but I want to believe that it is on its way here. But I can tell you that the water levels continue to rise with no end in sight at all for its recession.
Have there been casualties yet?
No. The fortunate thing about this whole thing is that we haven't lost anybody through the flooding. But I can tell you that there are many properties that are currently submerged in water as I talk to you. It's so bad that the ECG has to cut supply to the area because people continue to go into their rooms to salvage their properties, and they do not want any occurrences of electrocution. So the whole area is dark. As I talk to you, I'm standing in the dark. I can hardly see anything around me, but I can tell you that we haven't lost any soul yet.
All right. How are residents coping with the situation?
So a few of the residents who are on higher ground are making room for their brothers and sisters who have been affected by the flood. There is a secondary school in town, St. Kizinto Secondary School, Secondary Technical School, that has also been designated to take care of some of the people. And that was where the NADMO officials were to assess the situation. But these are open spaces, and so they would need items like mosquito nets and some maybe medical supplies. No potable water for the people because an assistance now, so everybody would have to drink some sachet water or maybe bottled water. Okay. And you can understand poverty levels in this area means that not everybody can afford that. So the relief items are really essential as I speak to you. Okay,
thank you very much. Now, as Joshua was mentioned, the Ghana Grid Company Limited, GRIDCO, and Volta River Authority have undertaken an emergency shutdown of GRIDCO's Sogakope substation due to flooding caused by spillage of the Akosombo Dam. So tonight, residents of Sogakope and its environs will have no electricity. Now, according to a statement released by the company, it says the two companies wish to inform the public of an emergency shutdown at GRIDCO's Sogakope substation affecting power supply to Sogakope and its environs. The shutdown is due to flooding of the substation as a result of the ongoing controlled spillage from the Akosombo Dam. GRIDCO has undertaken this shutdown at the substation for safety reasons to mitigate the risk of electrocution, loss of life, and related dangers. Power will be restored as soon as the situation improves. GRIDCO and VRA deeply regret any inconvenience caused by this exercise. Now, last week, Member of Parliament for Ketu South, Abla Jifa Gomashi, expressed her frustration about the inability of NADMO to supply relief items to affected residents and demanded immediate government intervention, including permanent provision of shelter for residents affected by such floods. She joins us via Zoom now. Good evening to you and thanks for joining us. We also have the MP for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzoto Ablakwa, who's joining us via phone because he is still touring some of these affected communities. Okay, so grateful to you for joining us, Honorable Jifa Ablagomashi. You've been there. Has support started coming in, and how the affected people in your constituency coping with the situation? Honorable Gomashi, can you unmute so we can hear what you're telling us?
Thank you, and good evening to you and your listeners, and of course your viewers, and also to my dear brother and friend, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. NADMO, I have said, has been collapsed. NADMO exists only in name. As we speak, from 2021, NADMO has been unable to do anything for my constituency. The recent tidal wave and flooding have not seen NADMO provide anything at all, except plastic plates and cups. Plastic plates and cups is what NADMO has been able to provide for my people. I think that His Excellency the President needs to hear this and instruct that funds are allocated to NADMO to do what they are mandated to serve this country with. We have disasters going on in our coastal communities for as long as I've been a member of parliament. NADMO is ill-equipped, and so they've not been able to support us in any way. This current one has seen Agbozuma, Kliko, and Aflau, the three traditional areas in my community, completely overwhelmed with floodwaters. And you know, the lagoons that are in Ketu South are the same ones that are in Kata and Anglo. So whatever happens to me happens to them. What happens to them happens to me.
Well, hold on for me. Let me bring in your colleague, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. So, Honorable, you are on the field as we speak. What's your assessment of the situation?
Well, good evening to you. Good evening to my honorable colleague and to all distinguished viewers. It is important to re-echo the concerns of my colleague, the Honorable Jifa Gomashi, that so far as we speak, NADMO's relief items have not arrived. It's the same situation in North Tongue. And I have been touring the communities that have been submerged, from Mapa, Bato, Aveime, all the way to Siko, Agbetipo, and then the overbank communities from Fume, all the way to Ngolupe. It's a really tragic situation. This is a humanitarian crisis. Entire villages have been submerged. Millions of properties, properties worth millions have been destroyed. Homes have been damaged. There are a number of these facilities that collapsed right in our presence as we were touring. You have the aged who are frail and have to be assisted. Some will even need medical attention. Some are traumatized because they haven't seen anything like this in their lifetime. According to some historians, the last time we witnessed this level of submergence was 60 years ago, or some 65 years ago. So that should tell you that this is a really, really devastating development.
Okay.
I am also particularly worried about the potential fallout health-wise, because we have the rivers that have overflown their banks, and they are gathering all kinds of things, and cholera could happen. There could be a breakout of typhoid as well. So we require urgent humanitarian assistance, and it is unfortunate that so far NADMO is telling us to wait, that in no time we shall get relief items. But
okay.
It's we are running out of time, I must be honest.
Okay. Let me come back to you, Honorable Gomashi. So as members of Parliament, what would you do in this instance?
I've told the communities, I've gone to speak with the municipal chief executive. But you see, what is happening in Honorable Ablakwa's community and the surrounding communities or constituencies is just compounding what I've been facing since 2021. And from 2021, with support from the chairman of my caucus, Honorable Badja, and colleague members of parliament from the Volta region, have been speaking about this and the need for NADMO, Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Local Government to come together to see what they can do to alleviate the suffering of our people. I don't know what else to do. I'm at my wit's end. I think that I have done what as a member of parliament I'm supposed to do. I've filed questions on this. I've made statements on it. I've spoken to the media on countless occasions. The traditional authorities themselves are beside themselves with grief. They don't know what else to do. And as Sami said, look, cholera, malaria, typhoid, all of these things are looming dangers because the wells from which people drink water have the flood waters in there. They are contaminated. The sachet water producers, where would they get their water from? Where do they get it from? Who is checking? This is a disaster, and I'm glad that Joy FM, you have been persistent in giving us your platform to speak to the powers that be. Are they listening to us? It's not about what I can do anymore.
Okay.
The state agencies are in every community. The municipal chief executives, district chief executives are appointed by the president. What have they been telling the government?
Okay. All right.
Let me. Somebody come to our aid, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me go to Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Now, it looks like you're out of options. Will you take this to Parliament? Get Parliament involved in this?
Definitely. You can be rest assured that the first day the House resumes, we will be speaking to this matter. We must also emphasize that it is crucial that we sit up as a country when it comes to disaster preparedness, early warning signals. VRA knew that they were going to open the valves and discharge water. The sensitization was not deep enough. Even as a member of parliament, I was not engaged. We have a situation where a lot of communities have been caught unawares. I mean, these are situations we could have avoided. All of these properties that have been destroyed could have been avoided.
Okay.
The damage that has been caused could have been avoided. So we have to do better when it comes to preparedness for disaster, and the entire disaster management, arrangement has to change. But let me also conclude by saying that as members of parliament, we are not going to leave our people alone to suffer. We are mobilizing. Today, we have been distributing life jackets. We've been distributing some resources to help them transport and cut their wares. So we are going to be with them. We are leveraging our network and raising funds to make sure that they are kept out of harm's way, and at least they keep body and soul together. Okay,
grateful. Now, we understand that VRA has meanwhile offered some support to communities affected by the spillage of the excess water from the Akosombo Dam. Now, the statement released a short while ago says the Volta River Authority is in collaboration with the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has offered support to communities affected by the ongoing spilling of water from the Akosombo and Pung dams through the presentation of relief items, in keeping with the VRA's commitment to alleviate the plight of communities whilst monitoring the spill situation that has affected some communities in the lower Volta Basin. The authority decided to provide essential relief items. As the items are to help mitigate the difficulties being faced by the communities that have been impacted adversely as a result of the intensified spill rate. The presentation of the relief items took place on Wednesday, October 11, 2023, at a ceremony that was attended by the municipal district chief executives of the Central Tongue, North Tongue, Ketu and Anor district at the Adidome in the Volta region. The items, which included mattresses, blanket, various food items, clothes, and toiletries, were presented by Engineer Ken Arthur, the Deputy Chief Executive in charge of services of the VRA. The Director General of NADMO, Eric Nana Ajiman Prempe, received the items on behalf of the affected communities. The VRA commenced the controlled spillage on September 15, 2023, due to a consistent rise in the inflow pattern and water level of the Akosombo Reservoir. In line with its emergency preparedness plan and standard operating procedures, the authority notified its stakeholders, including the downstream communities. The authority wishes to reiterate that it will continue to work with NADMO and other stakeholders to monitor the situation and provide regular updates to the general public accordingly. Now, moving on to other stories. Now, ACCRA High Court has granted an application to bring forward the hearing of the motion for confirmation of the seizure and freezing of the bank account of former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Armah Tetteh. Madam Cecilia Armah Tetteh's lawyers filed the application for the case to be fast-tracked because the minister was going through excessive hardship as a result of the freezing of her account and seizure of her property. The court, presided over by Justice Edward Chum, noted that a grant of the application is based on justice, fairness, and an expedited trial. Richard Kwajonyaku of our legal desk has more in the following report.
The 31st of August, the same High Court, presided by Justice Edward Chum, ordered the Office of the Special Prosecutor to return the seized cash and unfreeze the account of Madam Cecilia Armah. On the 5th of September, the OSP complied with the court order and returned the seized cash and unfroze the bank account of the former minister. But minutes after the compliance, the Office of the Special Prosecutor re-seized the money and refroze the account of the minister. On the 11th of September, the OSP filed a motion at the High Court for the confirmation of the account to be frozen and the cash to be seized with a return date of 18th October. Lawyers for Madam Cecilia Armah make the point that the back and forth is killing Madam Cecilia Armah softly and bringing untold hardship on her. Hence, they are filing for the case to be brought forward. They indicate that the OSP is merely repeating its application. This was fought vigorously by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, who indicated they were not merely repeating the application, but their motion was materially and substantially different from what was filed previously. The court granted the application of Madam Cecilia Armah for the time to be abridged so the case could be brought forward for an expedited hearing. The judge indicated that the court granted the application in the interest of justice, fairness, and expedited trial. The case has now been brought forward to the 12th of September from the original date of the 18th October. The embattled minister, clad in an all-black outfit with black headgear to match, held the husband's hands and sat beside him in the courtroom. There were, however, revealing scenes after the judge rose. Madam Armah stepped out to exchange pleasantries with private legal practitioner Martin Pebu. The former minister indicated the lawyer's comments about her case were causing her incalculable discomforts. Madam Armah's lawyer had some verbal exchanges with a private legal practitioner, and the two parties left the corridors of the court.
Reporting from the court complex, my name is Richard Kwajonyaku for Joy News.
Meanwhile, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, has joined the Office of the Special Prosecutor in a synchronized effort to investigate assets and financial transactions tied to Ms. Armah within the U.S. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor tweeted that the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, at U.S. Embassy Ghana have initiated concurrent inquiries into the activities of Cecilia Armah Tetteh, the former Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, and her associate. These investigations primarily focus on examining their assets and financial transactions within the United States of America. This collaborative effort is to ascertain the lawfulness of Ms. Armah and her associates' wealth, both in the context of their funds transitioning from Ghana to the United States and vice versa. That's the statement there. Now, the aggrieved customers of the Gold Coast Fund Management are accusing the President Kufuor-led government of being insensitive to their plight. They say more than 24 hours after they started picketing the Finance Ministry to demand payment of their locked up funds, no government official has addressed them. Members of the group are demanding the disbursement of their locked up funds, as they say they are yet to receive 8.6 billion cedis approved by Parliament to pay them. The Securities and Exchange Commission revoked the company's operating license in 2019 as part of government's financial sector cleanup. Maxwell Agbagba was there in our report.
You were crying because of my money. Because of my money. I need money to pay my children's school fees. I don't have, whilst I have money here. That's why I'm crying. I'm pleading for them to see us. They should have pity on us and give us our money. Yeah, it's our sweat, our blood. That's why I'm crying, please. That's all that I can say to you right now. Thank you very much.
Okay, sure. So let's head. Well, this is the frontage of the Finance Ministry, and these aggrieved customers of the Gold Coast Fund Management have been picketing the Finance Ministry since yesterday. Some of them slept on the hard concrete floor. Many of them slept in the chairs that they brought here. They came here with their mosquito repellent and their beds. They tell us that they're not going to leave here until their monies are given to them. Let's speak to convener of the group. Convener of the group, what's your name? Charles.
Charles Nyame.
Charles
Nyame. We just sat on this on the chairs, and some of them they just put the chairs together and they spread their backs on it. That's how we slept, under the weather, in the mosquito. You see, it is very bad that we don't have leadership in this country. That's what I'm saying. We don't have leadership who have sense of humanity and conscience. Look at the ages of these people. And we have been here for 24 hours now, and we have not had any leader in the government of Akufo-Addo to come and say a soothing words that will calm us down. But we are promising the Ministry of Finance that if we are sleeping here today, we will sleep here with them. That is it.
They won't go.
If we are sleeping here today,
don't allow them to go home.
We will sleep here with them. And nobody, no policeman can stop us. No policeman can stop it today. If we are sleeping here today, we will sleep with the workers. And let the policemen come and let them come and beat us. No policeman can stop that. Yes. No policeman, even the IGP cannot stop us unless they shoot us with live bullets. I promise them.
That is it.
I promise them. Yeah. Everybody in this building will sleep here with us today.
They will not open them.
They will not go out to their homes.
Sure.
They will feel how it looks like.
Hi, what's your name?
Rosemond.
Okay, Rosemond. Rosemond.
Rosemond Gruniski.
Okay, how much is locked up? How much of your
My money?
Yeah.
Over 2 million Ghana cedi.
Over 2 million Ghana cedi.
Yeah. I and my husband.
Say wow.
And you also slept here today?
Yeah. Maybe my head is paining me. I slept here. I didn't go anywhere. I was just the chair there, put the chairs there, I was just sitting there throughout the night. Yeah. So I've been bad, nothing. Yes, because you see, somebody has to come out and tell us something. We are human. We are human beings. We are not animals. You see, we are human beings, and the money that we put there is not a galamsey money. It's our hard-earned money. You see, it's our hard-earned money, so they should give us some small respect. After all, we are taxpayers. We pay tax. So they should give us the due respect and even see us as human beings and say something to us. But they are just looking at us as if we are just nobody. It's painful, man. It's painful.
Okay.
It's painful. So we are ready for them. Yeah.
Thank you. There was another woman who was crying. Where's she?
Meanwhile, the Securities and Exchange Commission of Ghana is appealing for calm as they go through processes to ensure that affected customers get full payment of their investment. According to SEC, failure of government to fully pay their locked up funds is due to the litigation issues instigated by Black Shield and Gold Coast, which have slowed down the process of obtaining the winding up order from the court by the official liquidator. This is contained in a statement released by SEC on Wednesday. Now, according to the statement, it says the SEC has noted comments seeking a release of 8.6 billion cedis, which was purportedly approved by Parliament to settle clients of Black Shield and Gold Coast, hence the protest at the Ministry of Finance. We reiterate that a full bailout has been extended to the affected clients of the companies where the liquidation orders have been granted by the courts, and a partial bailout in the case where the liquidation petition is pending. The SEC can confirm that so far 4.6 billion cedis has been paid as follows: 3.1 billion cedis to Amalgamated Fund Tier 1 payment and 1.45 billion assigned to Amalgamated Fund Tier 2 payment. The statement continues to say that Black Shield Gold Coast Fund management clients have not been fully covered because of the litigation issues instigated by Black Shield and Gold Coast, which have slowed down the process of obtaining the winding up order from the court by the official liquidator. Moreover, the approval from Parliament lapsed in line with the fiscal cycle. Therefore, any expenditure required for paying outstanding bailout payments at this moment will require the approval of Cabinet and Parliament. The statement says, even as we empathize with the very difficult conditions of clients affected by the legal hold-up, SEC wishes to appeal for calm and encourage affected clients to rely only on information provided by the SEC and the official liquidator. Affected investors or members of the general public are encouraged to contact SEC. And that is the statement that SEC released a short while ago. This is still Joy News Prime. We'll take a quick break. We have more for you. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. Now, the originator of the leaked tape allegedly plotting the removal of the IGP, Daniel Bugri-Naabu, says he has no regret for recording the conversations with the senior police officers, COP Alex Mensah, retired, and Superintendent George Asare. According to him, his intention was to expose the mafia in the Ghana Police Service to the president because the content was explosive and a threat to national security. Mr. Naabu, however, indicated that he feels vindicated that the testimonies and the witnesses have confirmed the content in the tape. He therefore wants the committee to admit his evidence because the truth has been established, else he will be forced to leak the full tape to the media. Samuel Mbura has details of this, of this report of proceedings in Parliament.
Chief Bugri-Naabu has maintained his silence since his testimony before the committee during the public hearing. He is growing impatient as the investigations seem to be prolonging. He firmly believes that the case's facts have been sufficiently established and should be closed. If not, he may be compelled to release the full tape to the public.
I never regret it.
But JB said he never spoke to you on phone.
He admitted yesterday in the committee. Go and ask them.
So now JB also admitted that?
Yes. All of them admitted. They tell if you want to play the tape for you to see. And if they deny it, I will tell the committee and get any television station and read and play for the whole Ghana to hear it. I have it with me.
Furthermore, the legal team representing the IGP supports Chief Bugri-Naabu's assertions. Spokesperson for the legal team, Kofi Bento, said it has been revealed by the accusers that the tape was not doctored after all.
Note that Chief Bugri-Naabu is a chief, and it's a serious thing when you say that he has lied. So yesterday that correction had sufficient weight that indeed everything the chief had said was true, correct. And the tape was not doctored. It's just a long version and a short version. The long version had all kinds of things that were not relevant. So the suggestion that there was a doctoring of the tape was entirely not true. If you compare the two tapes, everything that was on the short version is what was on the long version, plus all the other stuff that was not necessary. The important part is that the witnesses confirmed that there was nothing untoward. Chief Bugri-Naabu did not, doctor or do anything. They committed and admitted that he was right.
However, Chairman of Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee, Samuel Atachia, acknowledges the receipt of additional evidence, which has contributed to the investigations coming to a close. He also noted that the lawyers for the IGP have backtracked the allegations of bias against him.
The matters are coming to a head, and we afforded the witnesses
the opportunity to say whether they have any additional matters they want to look at. So what we've garnered so far, we want to retire and look at it, and then we could then start writing our report. So I'm not going to control IGP's lawyers. I've said it several times. A man who has the truth on his side will come into the hollow chambers where we are, not to engage in media frenzy. That the man has no integrity and is biased. You couldn't table it before him.
Is it the case that when they appeared before you, they didn't talk about it at all?
They didn't talk about it at all.
Meanwhile, the legal team representing the accusers of the IGP maintains that they have presented relevant evidence to the committee.
Let me put on record that the evidence before the committee is relevant evidence that were brought, that happened. They had to do with things that happened during, before, and after.
Witnesses have provided the evidence to the committee. The view of the committee is that they will look at the evidence which you have provided. If anybody is relevant to be called to answer to the issues we have raised in our additional evidence, they will do so. So the committee's decision that we are waiting.
The in-camera hearing involving witnesses has been suspended indefinitely. The committee will convene on Thursday to review the presented evidence and finalize their report. Samuel Mbura, Joy News, Parliament House, Accra.
To other stories now, and NPP stalwart Dr. Nii Armah Tetteh has charged government to focus on resolving the economic and political turmoil in the country to prevent any potential coup. With two ECOWAS countries already experiencing coup this year, there is growing concern that political instability could spread further. In Ghana, citizens have been staging continuous demonstrations for nearly 3 weeks, expressing their anger over the deteriorating economic conditions, including high inflation. Dr. Nii Armah Tetteh emphasizes that it's in the interest of government to address the worsening economic and political indicators to avert a potential coup in the country.
With my short experience in the armed forces, which was very eventful, I have had a taste of a couple of coup d'etats as well. I was around during the brutal murder of 3 judges and the military officer. And I have personally been involved in a coup d'etat. Therefore, I am convinced that good governance, anti-ethnocentrism, honesty, probity and accountability, anti-corruption, and integrity of a political leadership, when demonstrated, can keep the soldiers in their barracks. We need to be alert, knowing that there is constant military overthrows in Africa. You all know it. The reason, or the very reason, why these coup d'etats are happening in Africa are also being experienced in this country.
Meanwhile, Dr. Nii Armah Tetteh says the Electoral Commission's current posture will taint the 2024 elections.
Performance of the EC is a serious challenge to Ghana's democracy ahead of the 2024 general election. That we have to think about seriously. Here are some specific recommendations for improving the performance of the EC. 1, the EC should be made more independent by amending the Constitution to require that the EC's members be appointed by an independent body. 2, the EC should be more transparent and accountable to the public by regularly publishing information about its activities and finances. The EC should establish a more effective system of handling complaints and grievances. And lastly, the ACCRA should conduct regular audits of its operations to identify and address weaknesses.
Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, lament what they describe as rising indiscipline in second cycle institutions. According to CHAS, senior high schools in the country have currently become a breeding ground for social vices such as hooliganism, bullying, occultism, among others. President of CHAS, Reverend Father Stephen Osu-Setre, wants government to give head teachers discretionary powers to handle acts of indiscipline. My colleague Kwesi Adai Kwating was at the 61st CHAS conference and has more details in the following report.
Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, says it is concerned about what it describes as rising indiscipline among senior high school students across the country. Headmasters lament that bad behaviors for students are becoming a major headache. President of CHAS, Reverend Father Stephen Osu-Setre, said students are increasingly embroiled in hooliganism, occultism, and drug abuse.
CHAS is concerned about the increasing rates of indiscipline that have bedeviled most of our senior high schools of late. Some of these misconducts, such as hooliganism, bullying, occultism, smoking, drug abuse, to mention a few, have their roots, we have detected, in the homes and communities of the culprits.
Reverend Father Stephen Osu-Setre believes head teachers can handle the crisis if the government grants them discretionary powers to deal with the rising indiscipline.
While we acknowledge the recently approved code of conduct for students in senior high schools, CHAS is of the view that the heads of these institutions must be given some discretionary powers to handle more serious issues at the level of the Board of Governors. This, we believe, will efficiently and in a fast manner fast-track justice delivery.
Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei Iduchum, praised the teachers for their hard work, adding that through their efforts, education outcomes have significantly improved. He therefore charged them to challenge any politician who downplays their effort.
And that is why I don't want any politician to take away the work you have done. The praise belongs to you. People can look you straight in your face and tell you that you've done nothing. Education outcomes have diminished. 28 to 62%. Does that sound like diminishing? Sounds like going up. And that's your work. Under the able leadership of our president. So whenever those politicians are telling you you've done a bad job, tell them, no, you've done a fantastic job. Under the able leadership of our president.
All right, so this is still Johnny's program. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Showbiz. Welcome back. Time for us to do Showbiz, and Fosty is here.
Yes, please.
Pretty Fosty.
Thank you, darling.
How are you?
I'm great. Feels great to be back.
Yeah, feels great to have you.
You know, Ghana, we're going global now. We're winning awards on international stage. So now I have to add international to my name.
To your name, huh?
Yes, international.
Okay.
Well, you know, a few weeks back, we did a story about Black Sheriff winning the BET Award, Best Flow, International Best Flow. And for us, it's a big deal because it means that Ghana, we're going global. Well, it has been confirmed, finally, because, you know, the show is pre-recorded. The video came out yesterday, and then finally he gave his acceptance speech.
Oh.
You know, he even mentioned my name in the speech.
Oh, really?
Watch.
Okay.
Give a shout out to his team.
Yeah.
You know, I'm part of his team.
You're part of the team, huh?
Well,
success has many friends.
You know?
But failure has few friends.
I know. But then we have to. Let's talk about Kiddy. He's also an award-winning artist. Last year, he was in the limelight doing so much. You know, every time he comes on stage, he takes us so much love for us because he's able to deliver on stage, his melody, everything.
I'll be back again.
You know, but unfortunately, behind the scenes, behind the spotlight, he's been battling with mental health issues.
Oh.
Yes, and he's been sharing details about it with my colleague, Daniel Tazi.
Right, so that's Kitty. But you know what?
What? Tell me, darling.
Today is a big day.
Yes, Becky.
For the big woman herself.
Yes, please.
Becky Bex is a year older today.
Becky, please, where is the cake? You can't tell us that you are outside the country.
I mean,
so